Mary Tendler, and welcome to Coven Quorum. This is an advice column. You submit questions, queries, conundrums, and I supply the answer. First things first, I am an expert in nothing. I have no credentials. I am not qualified. I'm just a girl with a useless master's degree, DBT skills, and a lot of therapy experience. Let's get started. A fact about me is that I love dance, anything dance related, or anything dance adjacent. Why is this, you ask? Well, it's because dance used to be a huge part of my life. A few weeks ago, my friend Emily said to me, Anna, have you watched America's Sweethearts on Netflix? And I said, no, I have not. Which is odd because this show is right up my alley. That very same night, I say to my boyfriend, babe, we're going to watch America's Sweethearts tonight. He looks at me with a skeptical face because he is a Gen X man and I am HO. That's in my humble opinion. Gen X men have a certain amount of ingrained lowercase m misogyny that even they are not 100% aware of. I said this to him, I used it against him, and I immediately got my way. We watch America's Sweethearts. Guess what? He loved it. And I, dance lover that I am, immediately became obsessed. These women, the DCC, the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, they are everything that I love about dance. They're hardworking, they're dedicated, they're graceful. They make the hardest things look easy. They are amazing and captivating to watch. And oh my God, I loved that little Reese. She had never had Starbucks before. Reese, where you been living? Don't answer that. I don't care where you've been living. I love ya. I love Jada. I love Shandi. I love Armani. I love Kelsey. I love them all. I just watched episode 5 of season 2, which is the episode where they perform their first game since the Netflix show has aired. Thunderstruck starts, they run out on that field, and a stadium that in a preseason game would normally not be filled is packed, and everyone is going wild. The crowd is going wild, and the cheerleaders realize that people are there just to see them. Oh my God, I am sitting there. I have chills. Tears have welled up in my eyes. That stadium holds 90,000 people. I cannot even comprehend that. And they are screaming for the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders. Oh my God, I love that stuff. I want to see them perform so bad. I want to go to Dallas, a place I have been once before and thought, been there, done that, no need to repeat. I want to go to Dallas. I want to be one of those 90,000 people in AT&T Stadium. I want one of those hats that says, I'm here for the cheerleaders. I do not believe in manifestation. I think that manifestation is for cult leaders. But I am putting it out there into the universe. I want to meet the cheerleaders. There is a rule that when you have your picture taken with the cheerleaders, you are not allowed to touch them. I assume that that rule is for old creepy men who don't know how to conduct themselves because men do not know how to conduct themselves. That is a rule for men and does not apply to me. I want a hug. I want more than anything to watch them perform Thunderstruck. Do I care about AC/DC? Absolutely not. I thought that the lead singer of AC/DC was named Ace Frehley, only to find out from Google that Ace Frehley is a member of KISS. I don't care about AC/DC. I don't care about Kiss. I don't care about whatever genre of music that is. But I will go on record saying that that song, Thunderstruck, fucking rocks. Now I'm driving around my back roads, whipping around my back roads with Thunderstruck blaring, pretending I'm a DCC. I'm the point of the star on the 50-yard line. Everyone is cheering for me. I get into that kick line, and my extension is so high that I hit my nose with my leg. Lightly. It doesn't injure me. Lightly. It's just a light brush. That's how high it is. And then I nail the jump split. Coven, it's time for me. It's time for America's sweetheart to answer your questions. Our first question this evening comes from Eloise from Ireland. Eloise writes, how do I find dates when every man on every dating app gives me the ick? I'm happy alone, but it would be nice to have a partner. I am a straight woman, unfortunately. How to deal with the tenuous desires of companionship when we don't even want to look a man in the face. When their smallest misstep, which could even be hearting your dating profile because they think you're cute, a thing that dating apps are meant for, even this could turn a stomach. When I was newly single, my friend Ian, who is a straight man, but I won't hold that against him, told me, quote, dating is a numbers game. You have to go on a lot of bad dates to get to a good one. End quote. Although I absolutely hate to give a man even an iota of credit, I realized that Ian was correct. First of all, Eloise, I want to throw it out there that you don't have to go on dates. Maybe you're going through a time when you dislike men too much to date. I've also been there. I decided not to push through these feelings because I felt that anger was ultimately trying to tell me something. Oh my God, my chimney's playing with a nail file. Can you see that I'm working? Buddy, can you see that I'm working? This cat has no respect for me. I'm just gonna power through. I also believe it is not good to show up on a date if I've already decided to dislike the person for no reason. That's rude. If I'm gonna go on a date, I owe it to that person and the universe's energy to, at the very least, go into it with a neutral outlook. It might not stay neutral once I meet the person, but I can't go in with bad vibes. Eventually, I started dating again, and I decided to just say yes to a date even if I found them a little interesting or intriguing. I found that the more dates that I went on, the less weight I attached to any of them. I could look at them just as a thing I was doing instead of something that would lead anywhere. It's not that I wasn't selective, because it's important to be selective. We have a limited amount of time after all. We don't want to, spend it hanging out with duds. But I did open myself up to the possibility of having fun or being pleasantly surprised or even meeting someone I could stand. I personally found that when I was overly selective, this put a lot of pressure on the date. I would attach my own ideas about who this person was and how it would go, and usually sooner or later that ended badly for me. By going on dates more casually with people that I found nice or interesting, I was less attached to the outcome, which in turn led to less disappointment. That does not mean that I didn't get disappointed. Ooh, boy, did I get disappointed. But after a time, if I did get disappointed, like say in 2024 when I discovered that my boyfriend of 9 months was sexting with a college student he'd met at a bachelor party, when things like that would happen, the disappointment, the anger, the sadness lasted for a much shorter amount of time. It might be helpful to keep in mind, one date doesn't have to be anything more than that. You are never obliged to go on a second date. There are very kind ways to communicate to someone that you don't think that you're a match. Not all men are terrible. I do think almost all of them are problematic in some way, but there are nice ones. In conclusion, I would say you can analyze your ick and decide if dating is something you really want to be doing right now. And if it is, I recommend trying to let go of preconceived ideas of how a date will go or what the outcome will be, and just treat it like an opportunity to learn something about someone new or to do an activity. Eventually, perhaps, someone might surprise you. Okay, I'm going to try something here with this next question. And let me tell you, the mood is set because the crickets and the peepers are out, and I hope the microphone picks them up. I have 2 questions about anger that I'm going to group together. These people don't know each other. One is Stella. Stella lives in San Diego. The other is May. May lives in Los Angeles. Who knows? Maybe they do know each other. They don't live that far apart after all, but I doubt it. I'm going to read both questions and then I'm going to answer them together. So I hope this makes sense. Stella from San Diego writes, I turn to writing, taking pictures, and making stuff when I feel overwhelmed by difficult emotions. Currently, a lot of these emotions stem from rage and grief regarding past experiences with emotional and sexual abuse. I sometimes feel gross or angry when I feel like what I'm making is directly out of spite or the urge to soothe an angry impulse caused by my abuser. I have trouble balancing that with work I know I want to do. How do I rationalize, allow, navigate, and reframe these things when they come up? And May's, from Los Angeles, her question is, what do you wish more women knew about their anger? Here we go. Anger, in and of itself, is just a sensation. It's just a feeling. Anger is not good or bad. It's simply something we feel in our body as the result of certain stimulus. The emotion of anger is not destructive. What can become destructive is how we deal with the anger. But guess what? Most of us do not respond well to anger and rage. We lash out, or we shut down, or we try and make someone else angry, or we cut someone out, or we flip it on its head and we people please. It's these unconstructive reactions to anger which can cause problems, not the feeling of anger itself. So that's what I wish more women knew about anger. Actually, that's what I wish more people knew about anger. Personally, I find that anger is an incredibly creative and energizing force. It also has so much information in it. By looking at our anger, we can learn a lot about what makes us anxious and fearful and sad. So anger isn't bad, and the goal should never be not to feel anger. That would be an impossible goal and would set us up for failure. And listen, this is old news, but anger is obviously more fraught with women because we aren't supposed to show our anger. But that's a conversation for another day. This is no secret. I love the Real Housewives. All of them. I love all of them. They get so angry with each other. And when they get angry, they scream in each other's faces. They flip tables. I'm looking at you, Teresa Giudice. They throw champagne at each other, break the empty champagne flute, and then brandish the jagged glass at one another. I simply love it. But why do they do that? Some might say, I might say, that it is not helpful at all. Stella, you're doing something creatively expressive with your anger. You're writing. You're working on a piece of art. Great. Perfect. I'll tell you what, girl, that's called a constructive coping mechanism. And to engage in a constructive coping mechanism instead of an unconstructive coping mechanism, that is dialectical behavioral therapy 101. Congratulations. Yet you feel angry at yourself, Stella, when you feel that you're creating a piece of art out of rage or spite. Stella, let yourself off the hook. If you're making something to soothe an angry impulse, then you're doing the constructive thing with your anger. As far as I know, you're not throwing champagne at people and then threatening them with the broken glass. You're doing the thing you're supposed to do. Now let's talk about the work you're making. I found for me that the work that I created with my anger energy comes in various stages. First stage was allowing myself to really feel all the emotions and not be afraid of them or run away from them, but just to get them out. The anger, the rage, the grief. And here's the thing about that work. No one will ever see it. It will never see the light of day because it was not made for public consumption. It was not good. It was bad, bad work. But it made room for something more creative to come in after it. Let's say you make something and you feel like it would be really helpful for somebody else to see it, to bear witness to it. You could have a trusted group of friends who you could ask to take a look at work just so that somebody else is holding it besides you. Everything we make does not have to be for the masses. You have to get out all the ugly, unconstructive stuff first. And honestly, putting it into any sort of creative container is deeply constructive. So do that. Don't feel bad about it. Get it out. Ask yourself about the anger. Be curious about the anger and the rage and the grief. What does it feel like physically? What usually precipitates it? Is there a predictable trigger? What are the feelings commingling with the anger, and what do those feel like? All of this is useful information that you will be able to use in your art. And there's no need to fear it because the anger itself is only a sensation, and that sensation will not last forever. The work you want to be creating, the work that you know you can create, will come later. It will come after the work you have to do, which is the less fun work, the more difficult work of acknowledging your anger and not resisting the sensations that it brings about. All of these things I'm saying are based on things I had to learn and work I also had to do. A bunch of that work has included reading and studying Tibetan Buddhist teachings. Stella, I don't know if you like to read, but I think a book you might get a lot out of. It's by an American Buddhist nun named Pema Chodron, and it's called When Things Fall Apart. Anger is neither good nor bad. It is only destructive when we choose to act destructively in response to it. We have to feel these feelings: anger, sadness, rage, grief, so that we can also feel joy and elation and happiness and wonder. I have found in my own life, the more I understand about my anger and the more I get to know her, the less I am controlled by it and the happier I am. Last question. I'm trying to get one last question in. I'm already running over a time limit, which I have imposed upon myself. Here we go. Scooter from Minneapolis wants to know, how do you decide if you should be non-monogamous? Scooter, this is an easy one. I'm going to lob this over the plate. I'm going to answer this question assuming you are currently single. Here we go. Try dating multiple people at once. Make sure they are 100% aware you are doing this. Date people who are also openly dating other people. That way, you know what it feels like to date more than one person, but you also know what it feels like to be on the other side of it. That means to have people you are dating also seeing other people. You might find you like it. In this case, maybe you're a candidate for what we are calling ethical non-monogamy. If you hate it, then maybe you're better off with good old-fashioned monogamy. There's no right answer. It's just up to how each choice makes you feel. Jesus Christ, I've never been more concise in my entire life. No time. And by no time, I mean we do have time to do no. Elle asks, how do you deal with unrequited love when you know this person is for you, but they cannot see it? Nope. If they can't see it, they are not for you. MLB asks, my partner and I broke up because they are an alcoholic, and that led them to lie very often, emotionally neglect me, and just bad experiences through the latter half of our relationship. Recently, we've come back into contact, we've been getting along well, and it seems as though at some point in the future, they might like to get back together. I feel this is something I want too, but when I think about it in depth, I'm worried I won't be able to regain trust or forget the past experiences that made me so unhappy. MLB, this is a decision you have to make for yourself, But if I were in your shoes, this would be a no for me. And last but certainly not least, B asks, did you handwrite any of your book or just laptop? No and no. I wrote little bits here and there on my typewriter. Hey, guess what? My New York Times best-selling memoir, Men Have Called Her Crazy, is now available in paperback. Paperback is cool because it's cheaper than hardcover and it's easier to carry around. Wondering if you should buy it? Don't take it from me, I'm biased. Take it from some of the other people who have written very nice things about it. Like Shannon Carlin from Time, who says, it's a stunning self-portrait of a woman trying to make sense of misogyny and sexism. Lauren Melching from The Guardian says it's a modern-day The Bell Jar. Mara Judkis from The Washington Post says dark wit and a shrewd eye for absurdities. Lastly, Wilson Wong from the New York Times Book Review says it is equally evocative and devastating. Men Have Called Her Crazy in paperback is now available wherever you buy books. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for reading. Thank you so much for joining Coven Quorum. Coven Quorum is written, produced, and edited by me, AMT. The intro and outro song is Friend or Foe by Esther Rose. If you would like to submit a question, you will find the link to do so at the About page on my Substack, annamarietendler.substack.com, or in the bio of my Instagram, @AnnaMTendler. Until next time, take care.